Just absolutely dialed today. I'm not even gonna look, I just know it's in the perfect spot. And checking.
What's up, guys? We are here today to bring you a very special in the bag. We just came off USDGC with an awesome and an insane 6th place through all the weather, all the wind. And I'm gonna kind of dive in and show you what I was throwing for having all that success last week. So let's start with the putters. The Pride and Joys, we have the AB CT Glow Focuses, nice and stiff, very flat, good chalky texture to them. You know, I've kind of made a couple putts for these things this weekend, so shout out my boy AB. Next, we're going to one of my overstable throwing putters. I've had this for a while. This is a ESP Challenger OS with those cool little Team Discraft stamps. This disc likes to dump and not glide very far, so if it's super windy and I need a disc to just hit the ground fast, I'm going with this guy. Lastly, for the putters, my babies. You guys know I love the Luna. I have a 2020 and a 2025 here. This one's been in the bag since 2020, so this one's pretty flippy-ish now. I can throw it on hyzer, it'll flip up. But then this is my workhorse in the wind or anything. I can throw this one very hard and know it's not gonna turn over too much.
Throw your best Luna. Yeah, just like that. Jump. Oh, your best Luna.
Threw this one a lot on hole 7 this week in the Triple Mando. Got the birdie all 4 times with this guy. All right, now let's move into the approach disc / mid-ranges. I have 3 kind of approach discs. One being the Get Freaky Zone. This is like that flex plastic, but it's honestly pretty stiff for flex, so it feels like a nice, good Z. I threw this one on 17 all 4 rounds, snagged 1 birdie, but mainly we just stayed in bounds all 4 days. Next is the new DGA Blast, which I just picked this up 2 weeks ago. Haven't thrown it a whole lot, but I picked it up just to have it for that win last week. This thing is very overstable, kind of like a Zone, has that little groove texture on the top for a good thumb placement. Doesn't go as far as a Zone. I'd say it's in between a Zone OS and a Zone, but great disc to have for sure. One of my favorites is the DGA Ice Quake with that iconic dog pound on it. If you know this disc in my bag, I throw this thing a lot. This is pretty much like my Luna in terms of approach disc. I just love this thing so much.
And then the ace.
No, that's just a good shot.
That's a good shot.
And let's go on to the Buzz. Yes, the Buzzes are one of my favorite discs ever, honestly. This one is a 2018 Tour Series. I've had this one in the bag for a year and a half now. This one's pretty hyzer flipped to straight. Love this one. And we have a brand new 2025 Tour Series Dickerson Buzz. These are beefy for a Buzz. This pretty much flies like a brand new Wasp in terms of overstability. But I've had this one in the bag for a little bit now, so it's just pop it hard, hits flat, doesn't really turn. Great Buzz right here. Here we go into maybe my favorite slot in my bag, which would be fairway drivers. We'll start first with the overstable Raptor. I throw this a lot, sidearm, backhand, doesn't matter. The Raptor is just that dependable, overstable 9-speed disc. Yeah, go get you a Raptor. F-150, baby. Next would be, I threw this a lot last week actually. This is a Z Onyx with that cool little Team Discraft stamp on it. This thing is not super overstable for an Onyx, but it's not flippy either. So I can throw it pretty hard, know it's not gonna turn over too much. I threw this one on 14, a little 400-foot downhill hole, and hole 8 a lot last week. This thing was awesome. This battles the Luna for my favorite disc of all time. We have the Cigars, my favorite fairway driver, literally. Shout out AB for making this disc. It flies, it does whatever you need it to. It'll go 400 feet, it'll go 100 feet, it'll get you a lot of birdies. No bogeys, I'll tell you what. This is a first run cigar with my Mad Disc flower stamp dyed on it. This one I've had since March, so this one's getting pretty flippy now. You can throw it hard on hyzer, it'll flip and turn. Threw this one on hole 2 a lot this past weekend. And here they are, the Pride and Joys, the BFF collab with AB and I. Yes, I said I had 2, and I really do have 2 of these in there. This is my baby right here, this purple and pink swirl one. I throw this one a lot last week.
Just absolutely picture perfect.
That's why I love that disc. And this is a little bit more overstable of one. This is the first ever 6-way collab disc you'll ever see. Pretty sweet. I threw this one on 15 just to get through that triple Mando. Favorite disc ever. Go get you one. Lastly, we're going to the distance drivers. Yeah, we have 6 nukes. They all do different things. These two are primarily sidearm only. This green one here is a Ricky nuke. This one's a little bit more overstable, so this one will fight through the wind a little easier for me. I know I can punch this one a little bit harder. And then this one is an ESP one that's a little bit more beat up.
What if you just throw the biggest spike hyzer of all time on this hole?
This one's seasoned. Sometimes you'll see me throw this on huge backhand hyzer flips, but for the most part, this one is my hyzer flip to kind of turn sidearm nuke, but the nukes just go so far. Next, we'll go with the Minnesota Majestic nuke. I actually got this 2 weeks before the Majestic, and I ended up winning the tournament, which is pretty awesome. Has a little bit of stability, so when you throw it in hyzer, it'll flip.
I think
My throat doesn't want me to say how this thing flies, but it flies awesome.
brother,
I
the
think it's
level of
safe.
cracked you are right now.
I think it's safe. We got the Hawk Tua, put some spin on that thing, on the back of that thing. You know, this one's great. Next we have the AB ESP nuke with the Mad Disc flower on that. Boomer sooner. If there's no wind, I'm pretty much gonna go in between this red one and this one. They pretty much do the same thing, but it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. This one's just nice hyzer flip, turns, doesn't really turn over too much, but this one's gonna go far. And this one right here was my workhorse last week, and all that wind, Domi, poppy, overstable. Shout out Chandler Fry. Got this from one of his little sneaky, like, rare bins. What a find it was, because I've been loving this thing all year. Hasn't lost stability. It only cost me 1 stroke that turned over, and I'm like, why'd you do that? And he never did it again. So this disc was my workhorse. Throw it hard. No, it's not gonna turn too much. No, it's not gonna, you know, dump super hard. Just gonna push for super long ways. Stayed in bounds a lot. So shout out this guy. And this one right here might be the most overstable nuke of all time. Anthony couldn't even turn it over. That's how overstable this thing is. He gave it to me. He said, here, bro, have fun with it. So this thing comes out when you know you need a disc to not turn over, and you know you need a disc to maybe go about 300 to 400 feet. That's this thing. Super overstable. I challenge anyone to try to throw this thing over 450. If you can, you know, I might just give you something cool, but this thing really only comes out when it's super windy, or I just need something to dump, stay in bounds. It's literally all we got, besides my awesome grip bag. Shout out Grip for sponsoring me for the last, I don't know, 8 years. It's been an awesome journey with them. Great bags, got all the cool patches on here. This is fine. Charizard, shout out my boy AB, me. We're not gonna talk about that one. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.